Hey guys, it's Landon here, and I want to talk to you today about the top 5 mistakes that I see people make who are selling their home on their own. We call these for sale by owners, right? And I think there are a lot of people that have backgrounds in sales or marketing or maybe just online syndication, different things that they feel confident, going ahead and listing their own property. And so it is out there quite a bit. And obviously, I'm a real estate professional. I help people all the time. I've actually come in and taken over many of these situations where people have tried for a little bit, but then they decided to hire a professional after a while. And I'm always more than happy to take over at that point. And so I've seen a lot of the pitfalls. I've seen a lot of the things that can go wrong. Here's what I would give you my top 5 from 16 years of experience of watching this happen and talking to several for sale by owners. These are the 5 things that I think are the most detrimental to these types of people that are trying to do this on their own. And so number 5, I'll count downward. So 5 would be depending too much on Zillow and thinking that, hey, if I just list it on Zillow, I'm going to get all this traffic coming in and people that are interested in my home. And so they typically will do that. And then Zillow will syndicate it out to a couple people because they own some other businesses, right? Like Trulia and, a couple others that they have partnerships with. And so they do send it out for you. And it is true, there's about half of online real estate traffic goes through Zillow right now. And so that's a big number of people that are visiting the Zillow site. And so the reason why this doesn't go convert from viewings online to showings oftentimes is because obviously you get a lot of looky-loos that are on Zillow, just scoping properties out, and they like to look, but they're not super serious. Tends to be, even nowadays, even in 2024, when people get really serious about buying a house, they tend to go to a realtor, right? And that realtor starts showing them through properties. And because it's not widely spread of having a way for people to get in on their own without a realtor, typically that realtor is that catalyst, right? Or that connection that ends up getting the people from just looking online to getting out there and checking out those properties. And so that would be my number 5 would be just over reliance on Zillow and possibly a Redfin or other sites like that they can post on their own. For salebyowner.com is another one that they typically post on, and they may spend money to post in a few different areas, hoping that the buyers will all show up. And most of the time, what I've seen is they end up disappointed. Not as many people come to see it as they will other homes that are marketed in a very robust way. So number 4 would be too much when they're pricing their home, too much reliance upon price per square foot. Okay, and I hear this all the time. But price per square foot is higher than this home, right? Or this is the lowest price per square foot in the neighborhood. And here's the problem with price per square foot as a metric. It doesn't take into account your location at all, right? I could be back into a park or a lake or the busiest highway on the planet, and price per square foot tells me none of that, right? And if you go back to Phil Dunphyisms on Modern Family, the 3 most important things in real estate are location, 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 right? And that's probably what your parents have told you for years, perhaps, if they understand how this works. Location is so critical, you guys. Even if you have like a home that's like really tight with neighbors or a home that's just a little more spread out, price per square foot's not going to take into account what's going on there. And so that's a big deal that only like a realtor that comes in that has experience can really grade out and price your home correctly based on that. All right, so number 3 would be too much weight on emotional things. Okay, so what I mean by this is when someone's selling their own home, I will tell you the best training I've ever had is selling my own home because I've realized how emotional the process is when it's your own. I can do this all day long for other people, but when it was my own, I got a little bit emotional. And the first time I sold my house, I overpriced it. And so it's easy to do because you're carrying all the memories, all the exciting things that have happened in the house, the work that you've done, you feel like it's worth more than maybe what the market would believe. And so that's something to watch out for. I was on the phone the other day with a woman who was telling me how the house that they or have for sale by owner is a house that was brought over off of Broadway. It used to be, a place that was by the far west bank up there, and it was brought down by logs, right? Like they rolled it on logs down the hill 100 years ago to put it in the spot where it currently sits. And because of that, because of the effort that took and how long it's been passed down in their family, she felt like it was worth way more in the market than other homes around her, right? And she also, didn't know the actual, square footage of the lot, the acreage that they were on. Said it was bigger than it was, and they were off on their price by about $200,000. I mean, that's a big, big deal, right? When you're pricing a home. And so I see it all the time, and that's more of a drastic example. Normally, it's more of a small example, right? For sale by owners tend to also think they believe in the philosophy of sold as is. They like to say that a lot, which scares people away. And they also like to think in a way of, I don't want to do anything to this property because it's so customized how everyone wants things nowadays. So I won't do anything and I'll just let them decide later. Okay, so I'll circle back on that one. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to spoil number one. All right, so number two, second highest reason why for sell by owners tend to struggle and don't sell their home is because they tend to attract discount shoppers. Okay, so being in the pool of selling your home on your own puts you in this area where you've got buyers who are looking to get a deal immediately because they see that it's not listed by a professional, and so they don't want to give the homeowner a deal. They want the deal selfishly, right? And so being in that pool of buyers immediately gets people thinking in a way where they are coming in low on price. They tend to ask for more closing costs to pay for their own costs and take care of things because they feel like the seller's just saving all this money so that they need a discount because of that. They tend to be a little harder on inspection items when you're going through inspection. If the appraisal comes in low, they tend to negotiate real hard on that. And so the type of buyer that's looking at those situations is someone who wants to take it out of you as the homeowner, typically, that's not listed with an agent. So that would be my reason number two. Reason number one, all right, and this is a big one, is not properly preparing your home for sale, not prepping it for the market. Okay. And what I mean by this is not necessarily the mechanical things, right? I mean, you can have some mechanical things that go south on inspection and cost you a deal. But what gets people in the door is the pictures, right? It's great photography of updated features in your home. And those are the things that pay you back, right? 200, 300% return on investment is the flooring, the paint, the appliances, the counters. Those are some of the bigger items that buyers get excited about. And guess what? Buyers buy on emotion. And when that emotion does not exist in a home, typically buyers are focusing more on linear logical things like price, like square footage, like the size of the home, bedroom, bathroom count, stuff like that, right? Where you want buyers, when they're buying a home, to be thinking along the lines of, wow, I love all these updates. This feels turnkey. It feels like we could just move right in here and not do a thing, right? That's where mindsets can be really good, right? If you're getting buyers through your home that are thinking that way. And so that tends to drive price up and lead to top dollar for most sellers that do it that way. But as I alluded to before, most for sell by owners that I've experienced, I can't tell you how many times I've heard this if I've recommended, hey, you know what, we should really replace the carpet in the bathroom with a hard floor because people think that carpets in bathroom are gross nowadays, right? The number one thing that I hear is, well, we don't know what they would want to put, so we'll just give a credit or an allowance for that, right? And so what I would tell you is that is the worst thing that you can do. Okay, if you give an allowance, you lose the money that you give, and you also lose about 3 times that in emotional appeal that you could have had that would have driven the price up. And so it tends to be a lose-lose scenario. And you don't have to guess what the exact buyer is going to want in every home. And yes, there is a chance that they might move in and they might tear it out and put in something else that they want more, right? You run that risk. But there's a huge value in certain areas of your home in playing to the majorities and putting in something that 85, 90% of the market would really appreciate and like, that's on point with today's styles in 2024. So that's a big one that I see over and over again. Buyers buy on emotion and then they justify later logically. But that emotional appeal is a big spark in a home purchase, and that's what drives offers and price going up. So hopefully this has helped you today. If you have a friend or a family member who is selling their home on their own and you want to send these tips off to, you're welcome to. I'm happy to be the bad guy instead of you. That's totally fine. But if they would like to reach out and they're seeking some help at this point, and they've tried and made an effort of selling their home on their own, and now they want to involve someone like me here in the Denver market, you can call me and connect me with them, and I would be more than happy to talk to them, regardless of their situation. Even if they're not here in the Denver metro area, if they're out of state, still, you can DM me and say, hey, who do you know like you in another market, like Utah, Nevada, Arizona? It doesn't matter, even Germany, Japan, wherever your family member is or your friend is that's selling a house, if they have struggled and commented to you that, man, we've been on the market for so long, we're just not getting any bites. Anyone that comes through, they just want to take it out of us. They want a discount. I would love a connection there, and I can connect them with one of my RE/MAX colleagues that's in one of those areas. I work for the most global company in the real estate space. RE/MAX is the biggest company in real estate. Nobody sells more than RE/MAX, and I've got agents everywhere. And many of them I know from going to the RE/MAX convention every year and getting to know my fellow agents in other areas. I know a lot of these people, and they do a great job in their market. So I would love to connect them with another agent in their market as well, so that I can help your friends and family have success, get to a closing table, get the proceeds that they need so that they can move on to their next step in life, because it is so painful to be on the market for days in and days out. And market time kills you. The longer you're on the market, the less you get for your home. And that's been tracked for over 80 years. And it's so true, because that urgency runs out the window and you're just not able to get the same excitement on day 80 that you got on day 1. And so, doing it right, hiring a professional, there's so much value in that. And so I look forward to hearing from you if there's anyone that I can help out in that regard. And again, thank you so much for listening today. Hope you have a wonderful day.